Hey y'all, welcome back to my modern homestead. My name is Janet. If it's the first time you're here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I'm so glad to see you again. Today y'all, I can't decide if I'm nervous or excited. Today will be silly, but today is the first day of canning in my new house and I'm not able to use my stove. Not because anybody told me I couldn't, because my last stove was a glass top stove, but I don't know this stove and I don't have any directions for it. And it's different from my last glass top stove, so I'm not going to attempt it and ruin it. You know, I want my kitchen redone, but I don't want it redone that way. So I'm going to pull out what my husband bought for me for Christmas to use. But today, y'all, it's been busy already. What have y'all been up to? I've been straightening up. I've been getting the kitchen ready. I've been pulling out jars, and I got to pull out or empty a box that was on my pantry shelf, so that was exciting. But y'all, I had to stop because I knew if I had kept going, I was just going to barrel right through this, and I wasn't going to have anything recorded. That's just the way I go. I had to make myself slow down. Today, we are going to can Swedish meatballs. I've never done them before, but I found a couple of recipes. I wasn't happy with either one, so just like I always do, I combined the two recipes and made up my own. So let me show you what we've got going on. My local store had, and y'all, I don't have my glasses, I actually have on makeup. What in the world? Our local store had ground beef on sale. Their little card, I was so excited. It was $2.69 a pound. So I got 5 pounds. But also for this, we're going to use, and I just realized I didn't get one thing out, but we're going to use cream of mushroom soup. I know, it's a no-no. I told y'all a couple videos ago this was going to be a rebel recipe. Sometimes it just works that way. Cream of mushroom soup, we're going to use about 2 cups of onions. I'll probably just use 2 whole onions, some garlic, and some breadcrumbs. And I'm also going to use a little bit of salt, Worcestershire sauce. I might throw in a little bit more of Italian seasoning. Our breadcrumbs are Italian style, so they already have the Italian seasoning in them, but I don't know. I don't like to go real heavy when I'm doing canning because a lot of times flavors become stronger with your herbs and seasonings, so I don't usually go heavy on those. But anyway, I've got to grind up the onions really fine, grind up the garlic really fine, and grind up the oats really fine. But before I do any of that, my coffee is calling my name. We had leftover coffee last night. It was cold, I didn't want to dump it out, so I just made up my own cold coffee. Jake had opened a jar of milk, my canned milk. I didn't want that to go to waste, so I poured some of that in here with the coffee and my little bit of my super sweet. And he's called my name since last night. So I'm going to sit down, make myself sit down because I really want to go ahead and throw these together. I'm excited. I want to get them done. But that will give this beef a chance to come up a little bit to room temperature so it doesn't kill our hands when we stick them in there. So we'll be right back. Okay, y'all. Where y'all at? Okay, so that coffee was so good. So now it's time to go ahead and start on these meatballs. What I'm going to do is put all of our meat into this bowl, and then I'm going to just give the onions and garlic a rough chop and put those in and grind those up really fine. And then we're going to put all of that together with the ground beef in the bowl. So let's get started. But first, we know I need an apron. I'll be right back. Let's get the onions ready. I'm just going to quarter them and take the skin off. And we also need some garlic cloves. I'm going to do 4 or 5. These are big, so 2, 3, yeah, that'll do. We'll just do those 5. But we need to peel these, get the skins off of these, and get the skins off the onions. And we'll blend them up together in the mini chopper. Going to take this yucky end off and toss in the whole clove. Okay. We'll just keep going and adding onion and garlic cloves to this until it's all done. Perfect. Okay. And we're just going to pour this into the meat. Oh, if you're sensitive to onions like me, bless you, bless you. Just get this part over with and we'll survive. Just had to get a spatula and get the rest of these onions and garlic out. Ooh, they have got my nose and eyes just a-going. All right. Good enough. Let's sit this over in the sink. Actually, just going to go ahead and give it a quick rinse. I'm chopping my finger off, slicing it off. We can go back and wash it thoroughly later. Just get all that stuff out of it. All right, and the lid. Now, let's get the rest of the ingredients into the meat. One thing I didn't get out was the Worcestershire sauce. Let's get it out. A little shake. Ooh. Just a few shakes down in there. Let's measure out 2 cups of the breadcrumbs. There's 1. Oh, perfect. I didn't even have to open the other. 2. Trash. Now, we need some celery seed. It calls for celery salt. I don't have the celery salt. I didn't realize I was out. So I'm going to use about between a 1/4, let's see, about a 1/2 teaspoon, between a 1/4 and a 1/2. I don't want to overdo it on the celery. It can get strong during the canning. Then we need some, you can use white or black pepper. I'm not going to measure, but if I had to measure, I would guess maybe maybe 2 teaspoons. You need to salt it. I'm just using the seasoning salt. Again, didn't measure. Some crushed red pepper flakes. Maybe a teaspoon. 1.5 teaspoons to 2 teaspoons. I have some ground thyme. Don't want a lot of this at all, just a couple of pinches. 2, about 3 pinches of the ground thyme, and some parsley. I would guess about 2 tablespoons of parsley. All right, let's get this all mixed up. Just keep mixing until you don't see any more pockets of dry ingredients and everything looks like it's mixed through really well. And then what you want to do is take about a golf ball size, thank you, son, and make a meatball with it. I don't know if I want mine quite that big, just a little bit smaller. I don't play golf. I don't know what size a golf ball is. Anyway, about like that. So we're going to pop them in the oven for about 20 to 30 minutes. It just depends on your oven, and I'm still not positive how this oven cooks. So I'm just going to set the timer starting for 20 minutes. Then we'll check to see what we think. I'm going to go ahead and get out another pan and keep making the meatballs. That way we don't waste any time. Okay, so while my hands were clean, I just took a minute to go ahead and clean up some of the mess around this bowl. Oh, that makes me feel so much better. I don't like working in a messy kitchen. It makes me feel anxious. So I like to go ahead and get it cleaned up as quick as I can. Now we're just going to keep rolling these meatballs. And when those others are ready, we'll pop these in. Okay, so that one pan's done, real pan, and we're gonna go with it. These are so fatty that I'm not worried about things sticking. While I'm making these, yes, I know this is not an approved canning recipe because you should not, according to our government, can breadcrumbs. And I'm not really sure about the cream of mushroom, but I think that's a no-no too. But I don't always follow all the rules. If y'all haven't already figured that out. So, no canning police. I already know this is not approved. I'm not telling anybody else to do it. I'm just sharing with you what I'm doing. So, Our first set of meatballs are done. We get this one rolled up. Sometimes they want to kind of separate, so you just squish them together in your hand and roll them up. Oh, those need a little bit more time. Oh, I didn't mean to turn it off. Let's give them about 5 more minutes. They don't have to be completely done because you are going to can them and they will finish cooking in the canner. So I've got just a little bit more meat. We're going to finish it up and those should be ready. Right, those are done. Excuse me. I'm done rolling them. I'm going to wash this bowl out real fast. Okay, that was perfect timing. The timer's going off. Let's see what we got. Haha, it didn't get me that time. I think these are perfect. Be careful because the pan does have a lot of grease. They've got just a little bit of color. I'm going to sit them on the stove and get the next batch in the oven. I'm going to have to rotate these. That'll be okay. So let's set the timer for 12 minutes. So we're going to take these off the pan and drain this grease. So let me grab a bowl. I decided to just go ahead and put them in this baking pan. So let's grab a spatula. This one will do. We'll just dish them up just like this and dump this grease. Here we go. These smell so good. My son keeps saying, can we eat them? Can we eat them? Are they ready? Can we eat them? Where are the toothpicks that had the funny little colored things on top? I said, not yet, son. We're not to that point yet. Okay, I'm going to sit this in the sink to drain the grease into. I'm not ready to take it outside just yet. The pan is cooled just enough that I can still handle it. I need to move this pan. Hold on. Okay. No muss, no fuss. Now this pan is ready to wash. We can go ahead and get it out of the way. And done. I'm just going to dry it off and put it away. You use hot water when you wash and dry. Wash and rinse. When you go to dry it, it dries right off. Done. And we still have 4 minutes left before we have to before we have to put the bottom pan of meatballs on top and the top pan of meatballs on bottom. I think we would call that swap. All right, while we're waiting on those meatballs, I'm going to go ahead and get, oh my goodness. I'm going to go ahead and get the soup started for the gravy that will go over the meatballs. I am making the biggest mess. I'm going to dump 6 cans of soup in here. And I do have some extra in the pantry if I need it. So we'll just see. If worse comes to worse, we have cream of chicken soup. You know, just make it work. It can't be horrible. It's just cream of chicken. And if you wanted to, you could add fresh mushrooms to this. I just don't have any. And the ones I got at the store, we used the other night when we cooked. So I'm going to get the soup off of me and this in the trash can and keep going on these. switch the meatballs. That's what I kept trying to say a minute ago. I was combining the word switch and swap. Set the timer for 13 minutes. Oops, 13 minutes this time. And keep working on the soup. Now for each can of soup that I used, I'm going to add a can of water. And when I do this, I like to stir slowly so that the soup doesn't become lumpy. I add a little water and stir. Add a little water and stir. Add a little water and stir. So let's get this all done. And I'm going to go ahead and start it heating while we're going. What is it, baby?
You got something on your hand?
Oh, sure do. Thank you. It's a string. Okay, last jar or can. Now, if you were making this with some just fresh to not can, you don't have to make the soup as thin. You can make it as thick as you like. But anyway, now all we have to do is wait on the other meatballs to finish. Okay, this is the part about canning today that I'm nervous about, but I'm also excited about. I cannot use my stove, as I've already told you, so my husband bought this for me. I had a different brand picked out, but he had already bought this one before I picked the other one out. And it was a surprise. He actually forgot that he got it for me. One of the kids was hiding it until Christmas. So he was as surprised as I was at Christmas. So let's set this up over here on the counter. Because everywhere else I have cabinets above my counters. So, for now, this is how we will can. Oh dear, I hope there's an outlet close by. Is there an outlet on that side, son? Oh, well, we might have to go to Plan B. We'll see. I'm scared. So the second batch of meatballs are done. This is one persistent timer. It definitely will not let you forget that you have something in the oven. Okay, let's get these meatballs up. Now, my husband said that this canner was approved for canning. Whoa. Okay. Not canner, the cooktop. But I like to be able to adjust my heat with a knob. And I don't see a way to do that with this one. So I don't know. We'll just have to see. Okay, so I've moved this over to this side. And I'm going to have to see if the canner will even fit here. I'm not sure. We'll just have to try it. And if I had known this was an induction cooktop first, I would have already read the manual. But I didn't, so here goes. We're going to see what happens. But if I turn it, I think it will fit. Now the question is this compatible with this burner? It says it will not function if it's not compatible. But I guess the bright side to this is that if this does work, I can do it right beside my sink. I thought I could use my hose to fill it up, but it won't reach. So we'll just keep doing it the way we've been doing it. In my particular canner, we need 3 inches of water in the bottom. I can't reach the bottom to get this. I forgot to get the thing out. It has 2 racks. I forgot to get the other one out. Oh y'all, I didn't know this was going to turn into a circus. Let me keep filling this up. Let's measure. Got 3 inches of water, so that's good. Okay y'all, this is going to take me longer than I expected, but what I'm going to do is run just an empty canner of jars just to test this thing because I don't know how it works and I don't want to blow up my canner. So we're just going to see what happens. Let me play with it, make sure I know what I'm doing, and then we'll do up the meatballs. Okay, so I have 5 jars just like this, no lid, no nothing. Just going to sit those in there, put the lid on, just like I'm canning, and see what happens. Okay, here we go. Turn it on. I'm getting an error code of EO. No cookware is detected, incompatible cookware is detected, or cookware is not centered on the cookware alignment guide. There's the cookware alignment guide. Okay, y'all, so the other thing is not going to work. So I remembered I had my old pressure canner and it requires 3 quarts of water. So I took water from the other canner and put it into here. And by now everything is cooled down. So what we're going to do, normally you want it all warm, but we're just going to go with the cold canner and that's cooled down. So everything's about the same temperature. So we'll bring everything up to temperature all at the same time, and then we'll start the canning. Let's assemble these. To do this, just drop in your meatballs, and you don't want to pat them, just leave them loose, just like this. And you want to leave at least an inch headspace. I'm probably going to leave a little more than an inch because I don't want them to siphon really bad. See, I'm just going to take that one out. Could probably get away with it, but I'm not going to try. Then we want to fill it with the mushroom soup. And again, you can go up to an inch headspace, but I'm going to give it a little extra room. Okay. Then the rim should be clean because it was covered by the funnel. And we're going to take a lid, place it on, and just fill the jar finger tight. That's it. Let's do the rest. Okay, all the jars are filled. I had 2 meatballs left over. I could squeeze them in, but I don't want to. We're going to taste test them. Now I'm going to fill these with the soup. And did y'all see what I forgot? I forgot to debubble on that last jar. So I'll open it back up and debubble it. Make sure I get these debubbled and get them with the lids on, and we'll be back. Everything is filled. Now we're just going to run this utensil around. Make sure we got the bubbles out, and top off the soup if we need to. Just push everything to the center, push the air out. That lowered the level of soup on some of these just a hair more than I would like. So I'm just going to top it off, and then we're going to wipe down the rims. Okay, just have a little bowl of vinegar. Just squeeze it out really well. I don't want to drop it down into the mixture. I don't think a little bit would hurt, but why do it if I don't have to? So for each one, we'll just go around and just wipe it down really well. It's been a hot minute since I've used this canner, so I hope I get it all right. I think 7 will fit in there. 7 would have fit in there, but I only had 6. I can't count. So anyway, let's close it. Let's turn up our heat, and when steam starts coming out of here, it's different from my other canner, but still the same concept. When steam comes out of here, we will time it for 10 minutes. Please excuse how dirty it is. It's been in storage for a long time. Okay, let's set the timer for 10 minutes. Okay, so now the timer's gone off. I put the jiggler on, the rocker, I don't know the official name. So when this comes up to 10 pounds pressure where I live, make sure you check pressures for meat where you live. When it starts rocking, I will start timing this for 90 minutes because we have quarts. So I'm going to finish sweeping this floor. I was beginning to think my gasket was bad, but we finally have a rock. So I'm going to set the timer for 90 minutes. Now you don't want this to rock really fast. If it rocks really fast, then the temperature is too high. And you guys, don't ever put more than 3 quarts of water in this canner. Now this one's different from an All-American. It does, because it's so big, it requires 3 inches. But this one does not. You don't want to overfill it with water. Here we go. Our 90 minutes are up. We're going to turn this off. Now normally I would move this off of the eye, but I don't want to move this heavy canner on this stove because I would have to slide it, and I don't want to do that. So we're just going to let it sit here and come down to 0 pressure. When it's at 0 pressure, this little tab will drop. There. That thing will drop down when it's at 0 pressure, and we can open the lid. But with everything that's happened today, it's late, my husband's home, and we're going to eat. So I'm just going to leave this here while we go eat. Okay, we are home. The tab is down. Can take off this one, and we can open this. Open it away from your face. And I'm just going to let it sit here just like this for just a minute, let some of this heat out. It's pretty cool because it's been sitting here a while, but I'm going to give it about 5 minutes and then I'll take the lid completely off before we take out the jars. Sorry it's dark in here. Looks like one siphoned some, but let's get these on the cooling table. Thank you so much for joining me. Whew, I didn't know if we were going to make it through this project, but we persevered. We got it done. We had to put Old Faithful on the stove. She did a wonderful job. So you guys, thank you so much for just spending a few minutes of your time with me. You know I love it when you come and spend a few minutes with me. So until we meet again, may you be blessed. Love you guys. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell. I think it's on this side, down at the bottom. See you next time.